Hey, lovely sexy people. Okay, so I am back early from my charity walk. Unfortunately, I developed a knee injury, which meant that I did just over 100 miles, I think. I was just getting into illness, and yeah, my knee gave out, couldn't walk, couldn't stand, ended up at Inverness Hospital, a pair of crutches, and a very long 2-day train journey later, I was back home. But hopefully physio, and I've got 12 months because I'm going to go again next year. That's the plan anyway. But in the meantime, we have our next main delivery for Stormbringer. We've got issue 19, 20, 21 and 22. And we've also got their first special character, which is an Ogre Moor Tribes Tyrant. So I'm looking forward to building this, and obviously we'll get onto that. But what we're going to be doing is looking at issue 19 first. So let's crack it open, and there we go. Right, so we've got a 50mm base there, and the plastic. And let's get into the magazine. Right, so Gardus Steel Soul, War Magic, and SIGMA'S Storm. So, War Magic. Uruk magic is unstable, dangerous, and powerful. Even the wisest mages struggle to resist such savage spellcraft. Okay, that's cool. Loving the Buzzard Vulture vibe there. War Wizards. Right, Weird Knob Shamans. And Fungoid Cave Shaman. That's cool. That's really cool. Right, anyway. SIGMA'S Storm. SIGMA'S Storm was the campaign that brought the Age of Chaos to an end and began the Age of Sigmar. Stormcast Eternals descended to the realm for the first time in an attempt to free them from chaos. Okay, Sons of Bahamut for our B section, Destruction 4. Red. Gargants are huge creatures who exist only to destroy. They live brutal lives, crushing, killing and stomping their way through entire cities simply because they can. Gardus Steel Soul. Gardus Steel Soul is a bringer of light and purity to the very darkest places in the mortal realms. He is one of the only beings to have walked through Nurgle's garden of corruption and emerge unscathed. He wields his faith as a weapon and is utterly dedicated to protecting the innocent. Gardus Steel Soul is an exemplary warrior of the hallowed Knights of Stormhost. As a paragon of the faith and purity of the hallowed Knights pride themselves in, Gardus has been given command of a number of warriors. They are known in honour of the Gardus as the Steel Souls. Okay, so yeah, so we've got an information sheet on Gardus Steel Soul there. Chosen taxes, D6 roll chart. And then we've got our how to build section. And as Deadpool would say, superhero landing. How to paint. So again, it's going to be pretty standard, you know, Retributor armour and Cantor blue being the main colours. Then we have a war scroll. So he has a movement of 5 inches, he's 6 wounds, a 3-up save and 10 bravery. The missile weapons, SIGMA'Rite War Cloak, has a range of 12 inches, it's D6 attacks, it's a +3 to hit, +3 to wound, it's a -1 rend and 1 damage. His melee weapons, so I'm assuming that's, because if you look on his war cloak here, he's got little hammers. So I'm assuming that the war cloak flicks the hammers, that's what the missiles are. SIGMA'Rite Runeblade and Warhammer. So yeah, he's carrying a sword and a hammer, but it would appear that they have the same attack profile. So range 1 inch, 5 attacks, 3+ to hit, 3+ to wound, -1 rend and 2 damage. And we've got War Scrolls for the Beast Skewer Kill Boys here as well, Cruel Boys. And obviously you get tutorials on the back of both of those. Then we have Basics 17, Battle Rounds, Priority Rolls, and then the Battle Round. So it says Hero Phase, Movement Phase, Shooting Phase, Charge Phase, Combat Phase, Battle Shot Phase. And so you have 1 player and then 2 player, and that's your round. Okay, making priority rolls and the double turn. Then we have playthrough 19, which is Soul of Steel. So we're going to have Gardus Steel Soul, Lord Imperatant with Griffhound, Knight Arcanum and 4 Praetors for this one. And then Manok the Cunning, the Cunning Crew, Beast Skewer Killbow, 10 Gut Rippers and 10 Hobgrot Slitters. So you're playing with 1 battle mat. You're deploying on each of the short edges. And then you're using your primal air scenery as well. So, right, here we go. Look forward to what we're getting. Obviously, we're getting the Swamp Beast thing in the next couple of issues. But yeah, it looks like we're going to be getting some really nice miniatures over the next 20 issues. And it's a Marsh Crawler Sluggoth, part 1 and 2. So yeah, cool. Love it. That's just fantastic. Love it. Love the aesthetic of that. Right, come down. Let's have a look at the plastic. So we have a sculpt of 2021. And yeah, so we have a little bit of a scenic base here. We have the sword, which has some writing on it. It's a really nice crisp sculpt, this. Can't quite make out what the writing says. If it says anything at all, it might just be runic. Loving the shoulder pauldrons. Really nicely detailed on those. If you can see. And yeah. And here's the war cloak with the tiny hammers on. And like I say, I think that these must be the missiles. There's 8 there. But it didn't, I don't think it gave a limit in the war scroll as to how many hammers you could fling at people. No, it doesn't. It just says D6 is the attacks for the SIGMA'R's war cloak. Yep, that's it. Okay. So yeah, it looks cool. It looks like you get a choice of heads as well. So you get helmeted head and an unhelmeted head. Don't know which one I'll go for, to be quite honest. Might go for helmeted, as he's a chunky boy. But yeah, and obviously the hammer. Hammer's very reminiscent of, are they Liberators? These chaps. It's a very Liberator-esque hammer. So I think actually the shoulder pauldrons are very Liberator-esque as well. got the lion rampant there, look, or the lion. Interesting. Right, shall we get this built? Come back in a second and we'll stick him together. One of the other things that we got with this month's delivery was the paintbrush set. Now, according to the info, I thought this was supposed to be due a delivery back. Two deliveries back, but we got the mug instead. So, but you basically get a STC dry brush large, STC base brush large, and an STC shade brush medium. Now, when I was collecting Imperium, basically got the same, but these, I don't know whether these feel more natural hair and these kind of feel synthetic. I'm not entirely sure what the situation is with these. To be honest, as of this time, the only one I've been using out of the previous ones that I got was the large base brush, because I find this quite useful for obviously basing miniatures, and I quite like using it. The dry brush I haven't used. I haven't used the shade brush yet either. But they look okay to use. I'm just having a look on the GW website to see what the information says about these things. So having quickly looked up, so these Citadel brushes, the black ones, they're not the Artificer ones, but they're listed on the website as either being a blend of synthetic and sable or synthetic and ox hair, apparently, for these black ones, which I got with Imperium. These STC brushes are just listed as being synthetic, which is what I thought. So these synthetic brushes are obviously what we've had supplied this time round. They are quite nice. They do look good. They'll just be sitting in a box as the collection grows for now, and then obviously once we've got the full collection and I've done the final video, they will be passed over to my partner. So there you go, Citadel synthetic STC brushes, standard template construct. Okay, should we get our Steel Soul, Gardus Steel Soul built, shall we? Helps if I get the instructions out, I suppose. Right, so we are starting off with his contorted body and the lower loincloth part here. Now I'm assuming, let's have a look. Does that go on there? So I appreciate, yeah, that's, so it marries up. There's obviously a belt or something which goes round, so it will marry up with the belt, and that will be the position that you need. So, oops, come on, that's it. Right, 1, 2. Right, so that's that first part. We're then sticking in the head. Now I've gone with the helmeted head. and that looks like it goes in like so, and then the front of the torso goes on so. I think the head, I'm just trying to get the orientation of the head from the instructions, and it should be that the head looks mostly straight ahead, but when I pressed on the front of the torso, it turned it 90 degrees. So I think that's more like it. Right, so glue, glue, kind of hoping that's going to be it for the head. It won't turn, so right, then leg. Right, so this leg, okay, so leg, and then oops, the shoulder pad with the lightning on it. Now, be sure to get this round the right way. Okay, so it will only go on one way. And then it marries up. I do apologise if you can hear the sirens. Marries up with the seal at the front there. Okay. Now, next bit is his hammer and one of the hip plate protectors. Which is number 12. Now I've left these on because these were very similar. I left these on the sprue rather than get them mixed up. Okay. Now, which way round? So there's a little lightning strike in the corner, and that needs to be uppermost. And then there's a very tiny tab here, just there, which marries up with a little slot there. So Now to give this more contact, I'm pushing this back up against the belt. I think that will look okay. And then the arm, which is keyed, so it should only go on one way. What I'm quickly going to do now is just glue the base on so it has time to go off. Like so. Right. We're then putting on the other hip armour pad, hip armour plate. And again, this has got the same sort of tab on it as before. Oh. And again, I'm going to use my magnifier just to make sure I can see the positioning. Okay, in position, and then the sword arm. Again, this is keyed, so it should only go on one way. And then the lion shoulder pad goes on. And I feel like I'm missing something. Oh yeah, no, I can see where that goes. That's cool. Right, we'll sort that out in a sec. Now, should have done this a bit earlier, but we have this. It's kind of like it should be a loincloth, but it's the back, and that should locate underneath that shoulder pad. So I'm a bit late in putting this on. Hopefully I can cheekily just slide it in like that. Now this is the back of the war cloak, and this will then marry up here like so. Yeah, so that's actually quite a good, looking at that, that's actually quite a nice positive bond. So let's do that. And then I'm going to come in and just do that, just to doubly make sure. So there you go, that is our superhero landing Stormcast Eternal. This guy will locate, there's a tab on his foot, so he will locate onto his base. I'm not going to glue him down to the base for ease of painting, but that's what it would look like. So there you go. Right, join me in the next video. Alright, take care. Bye bye.